I want to move on and talk about the recent NFL team owners meeting this past week in Nashville, which is very close to where I live in Tennessee. Now, there are some interesting developments that I think are worth discussing. Now, for one thing, there was no vote on Tom Brady acquiring a stake in the Las Vegas Raiders, although Commissioner Goodell said a possible conflict of interest regarding this ownership would be Brady's access to Raiders practice and training facilities and how it relates to his role as a Fox broadcaster. Now, I'm going to defend Tom here. Not that I like the Raiders. I've never been a Raiders fan, whether they played in Oakland or Vegas. They have never been my favorite team. And frankly, I would have preferred if Brady bought a stake in the Patriots or his hometown San Francisco 49ers, but those may not have been options to him. Now, regardless, it seems like Goodell and certain other team owners are enjoying wielding their power over Tom. You know, it's been over a year, or just about a year, since Tom has tried to acquire a stake in the Raiders, and it's still not gone through. It's taken a while. I think they're enjoying the power over him. Now, whatever they do, they cannot take away Tom's wins and his championships, so this is really nothing compared to that. Now, a source says his deal could be ratified in the coming months, but the fact there is a team owners meeting in person and no progress was really made tells me they're stretching this out as much as possible. But that's just my biased Patriots fan opinion. It might not be the truth, but it's how I feel right now. Now, one real issue that might have come up is the fact that Tom Brady's friend Mark Davis, the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, might have offered him a discount on whatever stake he wanted to give to Tom. I completely understand why other NFL team owners would be against this, because it deflates the value of NFL teams if current owners can just say, well, he's my friend, he's a famous former NFL player, he should have a discount. It kind of turns NFL team values into nothing, you know. Oh, well, if you can just adjust for your friends, is your team really worth that much? So I get that, and it might be a little shady, but I understand why you don't want to blow that up for Tom Brady. I get that. Now, on a related note, owners also discussed amending rules to allow private equity firms, public corporations, and sovereign wealth funds to buy minority stakes in NFL teams. Part of the reason they're considering this is that the values of NFL teams are soaring higher and higher, and it's becoming harder for individuals or groups of individuals to buy teams. So by allowing this, you can raise money in a faster way, and perhaps you can raise some liquid cash for stadium improvements and new stadium construction. Now, I see the appeal there. I'm not sure if it's totally a good idea to bring in private equity firms to team ownership, but I do think that they should consider the ups and downs, because if it could mean less public money going into NFL stadiums, that could be a good thing. But again, there are a lot of potential ups and downs with this, so hopefully they make the right choice, because otherwise it could have really negative consequences for the NFL. Another development is that NFL team owners determined that the 2026 NFL Draft will be hosted in Pittsburgh. It's not that interesting, but it's a development. It'll be fun to see what Pittsburgh does to channel the Pennsylvania football tradition with their hosting of the NFL Draft. Now, there was no development out of the owners' meeting about this next interesting story, but Commissioner Goodell did have a press conference where he touched on another pretty big story, which is the possibility that the NFL season might expand from 17 games to 18 games. He had previously appeared on the Pat McAfee show and outlined what an 18-game regular season would look like. It would involve only 2 preseason games instead of the current 3. It would involve the Super Bowl being held on President's Day weekend. And during a press conference at the owners' meeting, Goodell talked more about this and stressed that the league would prioritize player safety and work closely with the Players Association on any schedule changes. He said that the quality of the game matters the most, and that reducing the preseason and expanding the regular season would improve the quality of the professional football game. Obviously, I'm in theory for this. I mean, if you can do it without exhausting players and, without spreading yourself too thin as a league, then it could be good. One more game, possibly one more bye week, could be good stuff, I'm a big NFL fan, obviously, so I'm in favor of this if they can do it right. Now, not directly related to the owners' meeting, but another development out of the National Football League is that Peter O'Reilly, the head of the NFL's international affairs, said on Tuesday that the league is exploring Australia as a possible host for an international game in the coming seasons. Now, the NFL already announced an NFL Academy will open on the Gold Coast in Australia this September, and I think it's great. I think Australia is a great market to explore for the NFL. I really believe that Australians would take to American football. I think they have the proper enthusiasm needed to cheer on NFL teams. Another reason that Australia would be great to host an NFL game is that the NFL season takes place when it is spring and summer in Australia. So for all those reasons and more, I think the land down under would be a great place for the NFL to play some games and possibly have other expansions in the future.